Here's one of the craziest stories that I have from my time as a software engineer. So a few years ago, I was working at this one startup. Almost every engineer there came from an Ivy League school or Google. So as you can imagine, expectations were sky high and it was a stressful environment. Now, there was this one particular team that just could not catch a break. Every single week, something was on fire. Maybe it was because they owned a very complex part of the system, but it was always in crisis mode. And these weren't just junior developers either. These were founding engineers who have been there since the very beginning. They knew everything about the code base, but clearly something had to change. So the company brings in this new engineering manager to save the entire team. Now, looking back, I have no idea how this person got hired. They were relatively young. Their only management experience was co-founding a startup that lasted between 1 to 2 years. But somehow, they absolutely nailed the interviews and the executives loved them. At first, everything seemed great. The manager was friendly and charismatic. Now, we're all thinking, okay, hype, maybe this is exactly what this team needs. But then, a few months in, everything changes. This manager goes to C-suite and makes the case that all the founding engineers, the ones with the most equity, aren't performing well enough and gotta go. And to everyone's surprise, the company does it and fires them. Mind you, one of the engineers is the brother-in-law of one of the C-suite executives. I cannot imagine how awkward that conversation must have been. So now, this already struggling team has gone from 3 to 4 engineers down to a single junior developer. You would think that the manager would stay behind and make sure that he would rebuild the team he just dismantled, right? Well, a few months later, he just leaves. He just puts in his notice and goes. And this is why you have to be extremely careful about who you hire as a manager. A bad engineer, sure, they can mess up the code, but a bad manager can destroy an entire team.